Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I am in Pokhara, Nepal once again. Today I want to talk about people who abandon sick animals. If you see me walking around, it's because I am babysitting my cat, and she is climbing all over the balcony, and I'm worried that she will fall. So, yep, people who abandon their pets when they are sick. Now, I used to be, not well, used to be of the opinion that these kind of people, while they are on earth, probably nothing will happen to them. But because I believe in God, I believe that there is a special place in hell for them when they die. But this used to be my opinion. I have now changed my opinion about people who do this, because now I can understand why some people would have to do this, because I am now in a situation where I am taking care and have taken responsibility for a pet which is not mine, and it's very hard to do so. And because of the situation that I am in, I can also now understand why some people, even when they see an animal in need, like example, lying in a gutter or in a drain, they don't do anything about it. Before, I would have called these people cruel, unempathetic, unsympathetic. But now I am of a different opinion, because now I can understand why they would choose to do this. So let me just share why I am now of this opinion and of this understanding of people abandoning sick animals or doing absolutely nothing to help them. At my condominium in June, people at my condominium found a cat lying in the gutter, and they thought he was just sleeping. And nobody really worried about him, because people knew that this cat actually belonged to one of the residents, because they had seen him on the balcony of their residency and have seen him go in and out of the unit. So people just thought maybe now they are allowing him to maybe roam the compound, because some people do that with their cats. It was only when somebody spotted him in a drain a few days later, not moving at all, and they've noticed that he was not going back to the unit at all, that they went to inspect. On inspection, they found that he was quite ill. He was immobile. I don't know why they did not approach the owner of the cat. I don't know, but anyway, a few people in the condominium then took the cat to the guardhouse, because we also have 6 other condominium cats. 2 of them stay at the pool house, and the other 4 will stay at the guardhouse, because they are there because they take care of the rats and the snakes and any unsavory creepy crawlies in the compound. and they are usually fed by two ladies in our condo, although there is a group who will contribute food and money and care for them, because they're part of our family. So this cat, who I later called Boy Boy, so they took Boy Boy to the guardhouse, and every day they would go and feed him and give him water because he was not able to move at all. And also they started giving him just supplements to boost his immune system, and he got better, but not 100% better, because he would still walk with a little bit of a like an unbalanced walk, but he was functioning. He could go and do his business in the bushes, he could eat on his own, he can walk around. It's just that he didn't venture far from the guardhouse. And then what happened was, then he would relapse. So he would be like maybe okay for 10 days, and then relapse for 6 days, then okay for 1 week, then relapse for 3 days, and this was going on until I came back to Malaysia in November. When I came back, I noticed him at the guardhouse, and he was again in his relapsed state. And it's only after 6 months that somebody decided to actually take him to the vet to find out what was wrong with him. Now I understand why people don't want to really help when they see a sick animal. It's because you have to take on the responsibility of the care for that animal, and also the finances of the animal. And this is why within that time he was not taken to the vet, because people were just not in the position to do that, because everybody has their own lives, they have their own pets, and they can only do what they can do. But one lady took him to the vet, and the diagnosis there was that he has nerve damage, because the right side of his face is paralyzed, and the left front part, his left front leg, and his body in general was weak. So that's why he couldn't stand and couldn't sit up. But he could move his head, although his head would be lopsided because of the nerve damage. And the vet gave him nerve supplement, Prozyme, and a B1, B6, B12 jab, but said he has to go for MRI scan. Now this is where I can see why someone would abandon their sick animal. There are only 3 hospitals in Kuala Lumpur who have an MRI scanner. 2 of them are private, 1 of them is government. The 2 private hospitals are charging 1,500 ringgit. And this is not because of the vet or because of the procedure or the actual treatment. It is because of the equipment that they are using. So I can't understand, because they have these machines, which I'm sure they've had for years, which I'm sure is being used every single day by many patients. So the cost can be covered, because these kind of machines can last for 20, 30 years. So I am just not understanding this. I also contacted the government hospital. To date, they have not answered my calls, they've not answered my emails, and I am one of those people who are like those cruel people who abandon animals, or who don't, even if they see them sick, they do nothing, because I am not in a financial position. I don't even have a car to have been able to take him to this government hospital, which is at least 2 hours drive away from my home. and on top of that to cover the cost of the MRI scan. Of course, it would have been much cheaper than the 1,500, but it would still have been in the hundreds. And I don't have that kind of money to do so. I have a lot of time, but I don't have the money. So that is why I can understand why other people wouldn't help either. Like I say before, I was not of this opinion, but now that I am in this situation, I can understand. The next thing was, we then decided to, because from doing some research, I found that, of course, nerve damage can also be caused by an injury. So there's a possibility that he has the paralysis in the face because maybe he got hit on the right side of his face and it caused nerve damage. So next best thing would be to do an x-ray to see if he has any broken bones or any bone pressing on the nerve, because I have that where the bones are pressing on my nerve. So we decided he should go for an x-ray, which is cheaper because some clinics were charging 250 ringgit for the x-ray. And the good thing is, one of the clinics is like 5 minutes drive from my home. So we took him there. But when we took him there, after the vet checked him out, he has no broken bones. They decided, and just from feeling in his body and looking at his eyes and his whole body, that an x-ray is not the way to go. It would still have to be the scan. And when I explained there's no money for that, they said, okay, what they can do is they can put him on supplements and antibiotics just to bring down the inflammation, etc. And who knows, it might help. Even though this was not the MRI scan, it still cost in the hundreds. I took him home and I cared for him for 6 days. I gave him all the medication that the doctors gave. We also gave him some Veocid and some extra vitamin B. And I also massaged him, gave him Ayurvedic massage, which is with turmeric every day, and exercised him. And I also guasad him. And within 6 days, our little dude was sitting up, rolling over, walking, although not 100%, but he was walking with a little bit unbalanced, but he was moving. He could go to the toilet, he could do everything on his own. He could eat, because before he couldn't even open his mouth. We had to force feed him with a syringe. He couldn't lick because his tongue couldn't come out. But now he was drinking water, he was eating, except that I had to put the pillow collar on him because of his unsteady gait. He would sometimes topple over and I didn't want him to bang his head. But little dude was very happy exploring my house and he was doing well. This lasted for about 16 days, and on the 16th of December I noticed that I came back from somewhere and he was breathing very heavily. But then after like 15 minutes he was fine. He stopped breathing like that. He just slept like normal. But the next morning when I woke up, I saw he's back in his relapse, that he had relapsed. So I took him to the vet, and the vet assured me that he's not suffering, he's not in pain, but he has to do MRI scan, but if not, at least do a blood test, because there's a possibility of FIP. So FIP is a coronavirus disease, which is a death. Of course, because of my financial situation and everybody in our group, I was not prepared to make the decision to euthanize him, especially since the little dude, besides this nerve damage and possibility of FIP, being FIP positive, he was fine. His eyes are fine, his ears are fine, he has no fever, his liver is fine, his kidneys is fine, his heart, everything is fine. But, you know, when there's no money, then you have to euthanize or you have to abandon. And like I say, that is why I understand why people would do it. Because first of all, you don't want to be in a situation where you have to make the decision to euthanize your pet. You also don't want to be in the decision to watch it slowly die and there's nothing you can do. And you also don't want to be in the position where you have to kill it off. And well, I for one was not in any position, and I was just ready to just hand him over to the rest of the group and just walk away, which is abandoning him. Anyway, I took him back, and after talking to one of the other ladies, we decided, no, we should give the dude a fighting chance, because we saw on the internet that there is this GS, it's an injection treatment, which lasts for 48 days, which has a very high success rate. There are some groups, cat groups in Malaysia, FIP cat groups, who have testimony of their cats surviving this, and their cats were in worse conditions than Boy Boy, way worse. And so we've decided to try to raise funds, because the jabs are 170 ringgit per jab, which he has to get. He has to get one every day for 48 days. So because he weighs between 2 to 4 kgs, it is he gets the 170 ringgit jab. If he had to put on weight during the time, he would have to change to the next dosage, which is a higher dosage. Sorry, I have to walk to here. Which is a higher dosage, and which he would have to, which then costs 220 ringgit per jab. So of course it's very costly, but we're gonna try our best, because we got a donation for the first bottle of 170 ringgit is the bottle, and 170 there are 8 jabs in that one bottle. So for 8 days we know for sure he's going to get vaccinated, the jabs. Now also every 3 days he has to be weighed, so this is another expense, because the vets want 15 ringgit every time we weigh him. So now we are looking for someone who has a scale, even if it's a baking scale, because we can just put him on that. And also the vets want 15 ringgit per jab, which means for 48 days, so it's 48 times 15, which we don't have that money. So we have been looking for a nurse or someone who's willing to learn how to do it and then to jab him. So far, fortunately, we were told of someone who is a nurse living near our house, which is also good, because it's not far to take him, because he has to go every day. You know, the lady who is going to be taking him, she works, so she can only take him after work. Someone has volunteered to do that, but in the event that this person decides they don't want to do it anymore, someone is going to have to learn how to do it and give little dude his jab. And we still have to support him with all the supplements, the extra supplements that he has to get, and we have to care for him. So when you look at all of this, well, when I look at it, I can now really understand why people would just abandon their beloved pet. Yes, it's hard, but then it's also hard when you don't have money. And my cat just came here. She heard me talking about not having money to take care of an animal. It's hard if you don't have money to care for the cat. What can you do? you don't have the heart to euthanize a cat, you have to go around looking for donations, which most people, I don't think they would want to do that because, shame or just, they don't have time. So thank you for those who have donated and for those who have promised to donate so far. So far I've managed to get donations for 2 bottles, which means he'll be getting, yes, jabs for 16 days. But of course we still need a lot because we need for the other days, and we're still looking for a scale, and hopefully this nurse will come through. But like I say, I'm going to give Boy Boy a fighting chance. I would like to see him get better. I would like to see him live. And even if he doesn't, at least I tried, which is the least I could do. So cheers and have a good day.